Everybody would follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God, we ask you to be in this meeting today and guide the commissioners as they make decisions that impact the county. Pray that you would watch over our employees, protect them, and that you would pour your blessings out on the county. Pray in Jesus' name.
Amen. Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'll call this meeting of the Linn County Commissioners to order. Approval of last month's minutes. I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Make a motion, we pay the claims in the amount of $265,003.90.
I'll second that motion. Been moved and seconded to approve the claims in the amount of $265,003.90. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Anything right off the bat?
I've got two or three things. I don't know if you wanted to catch.
Okay, I will. Yep, Chris, IT.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Chris Martin, Linn County IT Director. Last week, I was reached out to by a local college student that was interested in possibly doing an internship with the IT department for a couple months. And I wanted to see if that was something that the commission thought we could do. I do have some money in the payroll budget that could pay for somebody. It would be at most 3 days a week, and I expect probably 2. In the next couple of months, I also expect that it would be good help because we are going to, at some point soon, have the wiring at the old judicial building. A lot of computers will be installed with the end of the year, people purchasing those machines, and then just our general everyday stuff. We've got the radio project going on. So the person who reached out and wanted to kind of work with us and see if that's something they wanted to pursue as a career.
It's a college age student. Right?
It is, yep, and they're currently going to Fort Scott Community College.
I think that sounds pretty good.
I don't have a problem with it. That's fine.
Okay. Is that something that you would want to do a very fast executive for non-elected to discuss a name and a dollar?
Do you need the name and the dollar? Or are you going to leave it up to him to do it within his budget?
It's just an internship. It's not a full, it's just an internship.
Internship type deal, just part-time job. Right?
That's right.
Yeah, and we would list the person as a part-time temporary, so there wouldn't be any benefits available.
Okay.
Probably be good at some point to have you guys approve
The person, once it's all worked out.
details if you want to do that.
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
say work out the specifications and then come back and get it approved.
Okay. So
Sounds
very good. I'll reach back out to them and work out those. And just as an update note, this week going to be pretty busy, but the Mountain City Tower by the old sheriff's office will be coming down today. They'll be bringing a crane in and starting that work, and then we'll be doing the other tower sites and radio work this week to continue that project on.
Okay.
Anything else for me?
Nope. Thank you, Chris.
I do have the monthly park
Park report. All right, for October, we had income totals of $32,338.63, expenses of $18,961.61 for a gain of $13,377.02. Year to date, we have income of $280,215.41, expenses of $241,659.17 for a net income gain for the year to date of $38,556.24.
And I also have the sheriff's report.
Okay. I've got it. Thank you. Sheriff's report for this week, total prisoners of 52, 15 releases this past week, total farmed out 0, total farmed in 35, 911 calls 103, total jail contacts of 3,959, 625 calls for service, 10 civil service papers served, 6 VIN inspections, new cases opened of 19, cases closed of 1, 8 vehicle crashes, 100 calls for service on the SROs, 130 contacts on the bailiffs with 32 calls for service and 8 livestock out. Current daily income from jail housing is $2,711. Grand total billed for 2023 is $884,921.84. AMR?
My name is Galen Anderson, Operations Manager with AMR. And I have last month's monthly report for you. I'll hand that out and then we'll review that together.
Thank you, Galen.
Thank you.
Excuse me. And before I jump into that, a bit of a personal announcement. I'm actually going to be departing from American Medical Response in my role. So this will be my last month reviewing this lovely report with you. But I'm actually going out of the ambulance industry, and I had an opportunity to run a custom cabinet shop up in the city. So something I'm excited about and looking forward to. It just kind of came out of the blue. It was a bit of a hard decision because I really enjoyed working with American Medical Response and my role with this county and with the operation in Kansas City. So sad to be leaving, but thank you for the years of partnership and collaboration with the county. My job's been posted, and so my regional director will be conducting interviews and making a selection sometime in the next month or so. In the meantime, for your points of contact for what I've been doing, the daily operations supervisors will be here providing the same data that I've been providing. And then when a new operations manager is named, they'll be jumping into this role. So any questions about that?
No, thank you for all your good work you've done for us, Galen, and
Yeah,
we wish you the best going forward. And
thank you.
so,
Thank you.
Yeah. So on a lighter note, for the data for the month of October. We'll go through it broken down by city. And starting with Centerville, there were 2 requests for transport, but no actual transport. Lacine had 39 requests and 14 transports. Linn Valley had 5 requests and 1 transport. Mountain City had 46 requests and 24 transports. Parker had 19 requests and 6 transports. Pleasanton had 32 requests and 11 transports. Prescott had 2 requests and 2 transports. And total for the month, there was 146 requests for ambulance service and 59 transports. And then broken out by district with our response times. District 1 had 50 requests with 18 transports and average response time of 10 minutes and 28 seconds. District 2 had 38 requests and 16 transports with an average response time of 12 minutes, 13 seconds. District 3 had 64 requests and 29 transports with an average response of 17 minutes, 48 seconds. And I haven't explained the reason for that variance for a little bit, so I will one last time. On District 3, we typically have the operations supervisor who's in a quick response vehicle out of Centerville get dispatched to whatever the request is in District 3, and then a transporting ambulance from either Lacine or Pleasanton get dispatched at the same time in case the patient needs to be transported. And so they both are assigned response times. So naturally, the operations supervisor has a much shorter response time already being in that district. And then the ambulance coming from either Lacine or Pleasanton has a much longer response time just because of geography. And then those response times are all collected and averaged. So that's why the average response time always looks a little bit higher for District 3. But in reality, the patient has a paramedic supervisor that's there providing all the same levels of paramedic care. And then so total for the districts, 152 requests, 63 total transports with an average response time in the county of 13 minutes, 54 seconds. We were scheduled to have 1,488 unit hours in service, and we are right at 1,487, so we're staffed and in service 99.9% of the plan. There was 5 patients that were flown out by helicopter last month. 2 were for suspected strokes, 2 were for suspected heart attacks, and then 1 for a significant medical emergency. Anything on that data?
Nope.
So far, in this month, we're at 32 transports. So it's been picking up a little bit busier than last month. And in the last 7 days, we've had 22 transports, which is definitely on the busy side for an average 7-day period. So the crews have been running hard. I believe our most recent paramedic is off orientation.
He is, and starting his rotation 2 days.
In 2 days.
Yeah.
Good.
Wednesday he's on his own.
Yep. So we'll be fully staffed, and yeah, that'll feel really good. We'll have some people used to working overtime that are going to be figuring out what else to do with their time. So that's all I have. Anything for me?
I don't have anything.
I don't know.
All right.
Thank you, Galen.
Yeah, and I will be here next week on Monday, and then that'll be my last day down here. So have a good week.
Thank you, Galen. Fire? Randy?
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Hagwell, Linn County Rural Fire Emergency Management. I sent out the weekly run totals. We had 13 incidents for the week. It was a fairly busy week for us. Brings our total for the year up to 400, which is kind of below average for the year, so that's good. Have a couple things. I sent out last week a link to a fire truck that's for sale on Purple Wave, and I didn't know if you guys would like to discuss that today. We still have a couple weeks on it. Just kind of watching it. I've reached out to that fire department. I had a couple of questions about it. One, as far as pump testing and stuff like that, because it wasn't listed. So, like I said, if you guys would like to discuss it today,
That's
we
fine.
have a couple weeks. What we're looking at is a 2001. Pull it up real quick. It's a 2001 Freightliner. It's a fire department out of Texas is selling it. Right now, we currently have a truck just like that, just a year older on the chassis, but the bed is the same, pump's the same on it. We've had real good luck, no issues with that part of it. Nice part on this is it also comes with the rescue equipment, already loaded, and a generator. It's sitting at 21,000 right now. This truck would be pre-def, and that's what we're having problems with our trucks now. Some of the newer ones is they're not getting around enough. That def is causing us problems. We have some stations that don't run on a lot of calls, but we still need to keep an engine in it. This is a smaller truck compared to some of our four-door trucks. We have 2, possibly 3 trucks that this one could replace that are giving us issues. So I was just looking at your thoughts on maybe looking into purchasing this truck, bringing it into the county to replace one of them that is starting to age out and give us some mechanical issues.
So even though it's 22 years old, it's only got 29,000 miles,
Yeah, it's still,
254 hours. Is that
yeah,
correct?
that's one thing that I reached out to them to verify the hours. I don't think the hours is right compared to the miles,
That's what I was wondering.
but they're supposed to be verifying that and getting back with me on that and the pump testing. The miles is fairly low on that because we don't drive them a lot. The hours should be more because they are sitting there pumping and
And
stuff
running.
like that. So,
They're just upgrading theirs.
yeah, they're upgrading it. Like I said, the big thing is it's pre-def. It's an older truck, but right now, as far as our engines, we have a 06, a 2020, a 2003, a 1998, a 2020, a 2001, a 1998, and then a 1998 ladder. And I can send that copy of that out so you guys can
That'd be good.
have it. So,
That's 1250 pump.
yeah. If you took,
Where would you, would it be coming out of equipment reserve?
it would come out of special equipment. Right now, we're setting at $514,479 in the equipment reserve.
And you'd be replacing a truck with it, not just adding it to the fleet?
Right, replacing a truck. I was looking at kind of comparing what we had that we would be replacing. I would hope to get this truck between 30 and 35,000. I think the one that we could turn around and replace, we're going to get 20 to 25 out of. So there's still a little bit of difference, but we're going to be close on
And
prices.
you're viewing it as an upgrade?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with it.
I'm good with it as well.
Okay. And like I said, I don't need a decision today. I'll kind of watch it, and then next week I'll ask for a formal.
Right, because it closes the end of November.
Yeah. So
Okay,
just want to make you aware of that.
appreciate it, Randy.
The other thing I have is we have a 2005 Chevy Suburban. This was stationed at the Parker Fire Station. It's been going through some mechanical issues prior to even myself getting into the county. I took it out of service because when you drive it, once you stop, you cannot get the transmission to park. Everything outside the transmission has been replaced. Linkage, everything like that has not fixed the problem. Looking back at the receipts, they've spent about $3,000 on this 2005 Suburban. It's a safety issue. It also has some issues with air conditioner. Half of the vehicle blow cold, the other half will blow hot and can't be adjusted. So it has some electrical issues. I'm asking permission to get rid of that vehicle, whether it be Purple Wave or just putting it out for advertising it locally on Facebook and local papers and doing a sealed bid on it. Right now, we're going to keep it. If we get this other truck, we can stick 2 trucks on it. Just for Purple Wave, 1 vehicle, have them come down and list it seems kind of a waste. But and like I said, that's nothing I need a decision on as well. I can send pictures out if you guys would like, but it's out of service right now for safety. The stations use the SUVs, especially during the winter, for response to medical, so they're not taking the trucks out into the cold and freezing pumps up. So we try to keep SUVs at all the stations that we can.
And there's another one already operating out of that station, or?
No, so we have an SUV that's supposed to be upgraded. It's supposed to have been done last year. As soon as we upgrade that, then we'll take this SUV and rotate. We just kind of rotate our vehicles out. We don't get rid of them. This one we're getting rid of because of the mechanical.
Okay.
It has 248,000 miles on it. It's relatively high mileage vehicle. So
I think it'll sell better on Purple Wave.
okay. We'll wait and see how this fire truck plays out. And that way, give us 2 vehicles to list, make it worth the trip down. On the EM side, we're still currently going through our EOP and getting it updated. It has to be done by March 1st of 2024. We're hoping to get it turned into the state by end of the year. So get it reviewed. The only other thing that I have is I would like to have ask for a 20-minute executive session for non-elected personnel.
Okay.
That's all I have unless you guys have something.
Sounds good. We're going to go ahead and take care of
Yeah,
the partner.
that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Randy. Amanda?
Good morning, Commissioners. Amanda Snyder, Linn County Health Department. I apologize, I was not here last week. I was out ill, but I'm here today. Some numbers for October. We had 425 services provided to clients. We also had 13 remote flu clinics. We had a coloring contest in the newspaper. We provided a breastfeeding booth at Arts and Crafts. We did the trunk or treat in Pleasanton with over 200 people in attendance. Our dietitian attended an annual conference, and Vicki and I attended the Kansas Breastfeeding Conference a couple weeks ago. I spoke maybe the last time I was here when we talked about breast cancer, but I spoke that we were on the wait list to have the mobile mammogram coach come to Linn County, and it's finally our turn. So they are coming December 12th. They will be at the health department from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So we are accepting appointments. This is all hosted through diagnostic imaging, but clients can call our office to schedule an appointment. It is open to the public. Anybody can schedule an appointment. They accept insurance or self-pay. So we have, I think we can take a total of 28 appointments. We've filled several, but if anybody's still needing a mammogram this year, please call the office and get an appointment. We will be starting our Becoming a Mom classes in January. These are 6-week classes for prenatals or even their husbands to attend. So that will be starting in January. We'll be hosting this class at our office at the health department. We are also in April going to start a diabetes prevention class. Danielle will be teaching this. She is a diabetic lifestyle coach and certified to teach these classes. So these will also be open to the public. It's a great class for anybody who's pre-diabetic or needing to make some lifestyle changes. Some other exciting news, our WIC numbers increased quite a bit in the month of October. We went from 160 participants to 171. And so far for the month of November, I believe we're up another 5 participants. So I think the status of our economy and how expensive things have gotten, that has kind of driven some people to come and get some resources from us. So we're excited about that. The only other thing I have is the sealed bid for our classroom that I have not opened.
Okay.
Do you want me to open it now?
Yep.
Good. Bear with me, it's kind of taped, it's really sealed. So we only received one bid. And it looks like the total for it is $74,800.
Who's the bidder?
Johnson Construction. Brandon Johnson out of Pleasanton. That was quite a bit more than what I have budgeted in my grant. You mind if I take it back and look through it and just see if there's anything that we could maybe modify or try to get down to what we have to spend?
Yep. I think that'd be a good idea.
Have we had Randy look at this for us? I mean,
We have not.
you know, that might be an option to have Randy go over there and take a look and see what we got, you know, to
He could help you evaluate the bid and
Sure.
see where to
Okay.
save money.
see what we can save or cut back.
Absolutely.
That'd be fine.
And can I just reach out to him?
Yes.
Okay. David, do you have a number for him that I can need?
I'm not sure if I do, but Sean or Jessica.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Yep. I will do that and get back with you on that.
Sounds good.
Anything from you guys?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Have a good rest of your week.
You too.
Public Works?
Morning, Commissioners. Sean West, Public Works Administrator. I have a couple of things for you that need signed. The first is a surplus property resolution that we spoke about last week. And the second are training agreements with the two employees that are going through CDL training currently.
Were we not training, what's this different CDL than what we're training for ourselves?
I'm sorry?
Didn't we have training locally?
So we're,
We are training locally. We're just having an agreement with the employee. If the employee takes other employment after we get them the CDL in the 12-month period following, they'll reimburse our
Just
cost.
reimburse us for that, okay.
Yeah.
we're still making them do that for us getting them certified.
Right. Good.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2023-46 for a declaration of surplus property.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Just for the sake of the record, you might mention what the surplus.
Okay.
property is.
Equipment, tire machine, Bishman model 931A, portable generator, Onan, Rotunda R12 recovery machine, concrete septic tank from the airport, a truck plow that was buried at the edge of the lot. It will not fit any equipment without major modifications. A V plow with the same issues. Okay. 2023-46.
46.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll also make a motion that we go, enter into CDL training agreements with Jack Schreckheis and Shelley Collins. Anything else we need to have in that?
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Okay.
Next thing I have is a agreement with ECA in reference to our sites here in Linn County. Believe this is something that we sign on a continual basis in our agreement. I'll pass this to Gary.
An agreement with whom?
ECA.
East Central Kansas Area on Aging.
While he's looking that over, I have a request for assistance from Public Works from Mound City Historical Society for installing Christmas lights on the building. It requires a bucket extension. Timeline and everything is at our discretion, but the only assistance they need is the bucket truck to reach some locations. It would be operated by our personnel, and I didn't see any problem with the request.
This is a normal thing we do every year, and it's boilerplate, so.
Okay.
This is just our agreement with them for the year. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
And
We need a motion to approve these.
Yes.
motion on the East Central Kansas agreement with the ECA for 1 year for the different, nutritional sites, Blue Mound, Centerville, Mound City, Parker, and Pleasanton. Went into a 1 year agreement with them.
I'll second that motion. Motion been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do you have any questions on the works assistant?
I don't, that's fine.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we enter into a public works assistance application with the Mound City Historical Society for use of a bucket truck.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
Jim.
I apologize, we didn't get this sent out to you online. The cost summary by task for October just got completed. The annex roof materials have been ordered. It'll go on in 2 layers. It starts Wednesday when the materials arrive. Chris may have told you the tower project's going today as well over at the old sheriff's department. Next week,
Are we still hauling that off?
yes, our crews, once it hits the ground, will secure it, hold it in place, unbolt it, and load it and haul it off.
Okay.
Next week, I will be on vacation all week, so we'll still have contact here with Jessica, and then I'll be available by phone. Jesse Walton started this morning in the north shop as a north shop foreman. And on the 16th, Jessica and I will meet with Tony Malini from Terracon. This is the project for the elevation of the cells, the large elevation to complete. He wanted to meet with us before he came in and scheduled to meet with the commissioners so that we make sure we've got all the numbers and everything we need to present to you. But he will be presenting that project, I would assume, within a couple of weeks of that period. So. Next thing I had, this came into me late. The photos that I've given you are the park, the main park shelter house. This is across from Marina Lane. The backside, non-visible to the roadway, has some wind damage on some shingles. There's also some soffit and fascia damage. This roof is very aged, and what I'd ask to do is just go out to bid to replace it with a metal roof, soffits and fascia, which is going to be the long-term fix or a better fix to the problem that we're facing with the shingles.
Need to have Randy look at that too. I mean, as far as see what we,
Yep. That's fine with me.
what I'd say.
Start with Randy and then send it out to bid.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll have him meet with Sherry sometime at his convenience. You ask about numbers when the Devlin Road request or project was brought to you. Todd's put together some numbers just for your information. Last summer, we spent $670,000 on a 5-mile stretch of a 1.5-inch overlay. 3 miles for Devlin Road, because it's new asphalt, would be a 6-inch lay on the new surface for the base. That 6-inch lay would roughly be $1 million a mile for that cost of material. The chip and seal, Miami County no longer chip and seals over gravel, and there would be no base to put that down on for the vehicle. So those are the numbers that Todd has given us. If you are interested at a later date, I can bring him in to discuss the road surface and the options, or you can discuss it and tell me when and if you want him brought in here.
I've been thinking about this a little bit, Jim, and I mean, we have this same issue with every town that we have, where we have railroad crossings going through town and things that way. I don't think it's detrimental or hasn't been to this point. I don't really see why we need to pave that 3 miles.
pretty expensive for a mile. $1 million a mile. I don't know if we got the money to do that. I mean, it was overlaid, but I don't know. Like you say, Miami County doesn't do the overlays anymore. I don't know what the other counties do. I haven't looked.
I haven't either.
I'm not interested in $1 million a mile over here.
Okay.
Okay.
You have any updates on the old judicial building, on timing on when it's gonna be done?
I don't. I can have those brought in next week. I'll talk to Randy. I don't know which projects are being done as far as the contracting that he's bringing in.
I've had a couple of different department heads asking me about it.
I will inquire and try to bring those forward for you. The park year-to-date, was that sent out?
Yep. And I
Okay.
read it.
I won't go over those numbers. You've got those. You asked me to meet with the church, with the seniors, the Methodist Church in Pleasanton. I met with them on Friday. Had a good meeting with them, and their request, obviously, they told us the seniors are going to meet there, and they've made that arrangement or agreement with them, but their request would be only for utilities. If the commission saw fit to pay for the utilities for the time that they are there, they believe those utilities, based on November going into December, because the heat's being run from a little after 8 in the morning till early afternoon, that those through December or November and December would average approximately $500 a month.
Okay. It's fine.
So the only other request they ask is that I look into our former maintenance personnel living in Pleasanton would stop by and make sure the sidewalks were clear for the seniors before they headed here to work on the buildings here. I told them I would speak with our personnel who also lives in that area, and we'd make whatever arrangements we need to do to make sure that it was safe. Along that lines, the church asked if our insurance would cover their meetings there if someone fell, tripped, if it was due to weather or anything of that nature.
Probably need to inform K-Camp that we're using an alternate site.
But I would think so, although I don't want to make any guarantees on anything.
Okay, they just asked me to look into it and ask how that would work. It was not,
Get me the name and address of the church and stuff, and I'll submit it and let them know what we're doing.
I'll get that to you in an email.
Are we working on the new senior center? I mean, are they?
I'll have to check with them. I know we've done the demo. We have staged all the kitchen items, all the bathroom items. I know they were doing some required or mandatory testing that slowed them down from going in.
The STARS program.
Yes. And then we moved some shelving, and we were doing some shelving and some pantry work on there, but I'll bring an update when I do the update on the judicial center. I'll get a update on that as well.
Okay.
Commissioners, that's all I have for you this morning.
Thank you, Sean. Do you have anything? Wanna take care of that executive session with,
That's fine.
Danny sent me a message that we could call him if he needs to be included on that, so.
okay.
I've probably got about 10 minutes worth of legal stuff to cover with you in an executive session as well. If you want to catch that at the same time, that's up to you.
I'll make a motion that we go into executive session for 30 minutes total, 20 minutes with Randy for non-elected personnel, 10 minutes with Gary for legal.
I'll second it.
On behalf of the historical site down here, the historical park, thank you for letting us use your bucket truck.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna get out on a ladder that high.
I'm gonna give you a copy.
We'll see you around.
Motion been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Yeah, I think our time's expired on that one now.
Okay. We just have the,
Mr. Booth is on there. We've got public
well,
comment.
but do we need to do the
Well,
zoning?
Darren wanted to talk about that a little bit, I think, too, so.
Okay, Darren?
Good morning, Commissioners. Darren Wilson, Planning and Zoning Director. Last week, I brought to you guys Regina's Rescue for conditional use permit. And it was tabled until today with, I think you guys wanting to send it back to Planning and Zoning with, for additional information.
So I drafted a letter from the commissioner to planning and zoning. I have presented it to them in executive session with legal advice. And I believe they're prepared to take some action on that.
Okay.
Okay. So we go ahead and read through this. Thank you for your hard work in reviewing and acting on the above cited CUP application pursuant with KSA 12-756 and 757. The Linn County Commissioners herewith return to the Planning and Zoning Committee the recently submitted CUP recommendation, asking the committee to give further CUP further consideration and specifically to consider the advisability of reducing the total number of dogs allowed under the CUP, requiring all dogs to be located in buildings, severely limiting the number of dogs allowed until the building is ready for occupation, requiring dog-proof perimeter fencing, requiring sound reduction panels around outside dog pens, and require soundproofing of the building or buildings housing dogs, holding further action until the state review of the site's license, which includes the possibility of revocation, is complete. As always, whatever your decision regarding these possible revisions, please make detailed findings as to why or why not they should be adopted. Thank you, the Linn County Commissioners. I'll make a motion that we approve the letter as presented back to the Planning and Zoning Committee.
I'll second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Can you get me a copy? Sign one too, or? I will.
Just a quick reminder, tomorrow night at 6 o'clock is the Planning and Zoning meeting. Public forum will probably start around 6:30 because we have a case to hear before that for a new plat. So 6:30 is probably public forum will start. And that's all I've got.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Darren. Mr. Booth?
Thank you, gentlemen, for allowing me to come back to you and present to you a plan, a floor plan for our opening up a mission in the old nursing home in Prescott. I just want to share some things that have developed since then. I know that the state of Kansas legislation met last Thursday on the 9th with a 6-hour session of talking about homelessness in the state of Kansas. This is a problem. It is going to be a problem for this county. One thing I would like to share with you in that session, because I sat through 4 hours of it, then came back to it later on and watched the rest of the video, was that there were 2 recommendations made by 2 of the senators that were there, is that they recommended that the state of Kansas develop a program that would allow the counties and cities to draw monies for homeless shelters. One of the entitlements there, I got my paperwork mixed up while I was sharing with other people today, is a VTR program, and then something about a PPPO program from the state of Kansas. And I would encourage you gentlemen maybe to look into this and see if there are finances out there that would allow the county, and that's what they said, they're going to look at this at a county level and at city levels because of the large cities. But the finances is where we're looking at too. We are going to forego Housing First and the CCO programs that are in the state of Kansas, also the Kansas Coalition of Homeless and HUD. Because all of these programs tie our hands so that we cannot do what we are trying to accomplish in this home. What we will be doing, as I shared with you when we first came together, is trying to give these individuals help so that they can get back into life and society, so that they can make a decent living. The School Star program over there is willing to give them training programs. The local medical facilities, Dr. Allen even is behind all of this, are willing to help them with their medical needs and stuff. We are looking into mental health issues, how that we can get those solved in our county, because a majority of these individuals that are homeless have mental problems and mental state. Any other type of problems and stuff, we are trying to develop a program that will resolve these problems and these issues so that it will allow people to get back into homes. One other thing that has caused the problem is the increase in property values. It went up to about 55%. That the low-income housing that was available in the Linn County, most of these renters or owners of these rentals sold their properties because of the value of the homes, which is good business if that's what you want to look at. So this is a reason that we're opening up, and I handed you a outline of our phases, but like I said, I want to let you know where we are at this time. The First Baptist Church has taken on, we're going to call Safe Harbor Missions, has taken it on as a mission project. They are dedicated to it to a point of financing it $50 a month, and they will also take care of the first month's billings and all the things that are necessary to keep it afloat for the first month when the doors are open. As I shared with you the first time, there is a plumbing and water problem in the building, and that will need to be fixed before the whole building can be used. That is our phase one. I got a hold of Tim Wills. He was one that looked at the plumbing the last time. I have not got back with him. I'm just throwing a number out here, and I really do not know what it's going to end up costing to get the building in shape to where we can walk into it and use it. Probably an estimation of about around $10,000, because we're talking about the sewer, we're talking about a water leak in the building that has not been discovered as of yet. So this is the first phase, and if we get through this first phase, then the rest of it's just going to fall in place. I informed my church yesterday that when we open these doors, that there will be a need of a necessity of a person on the property 24/7. And I have volunteered to do that position, therefore resigning my position as pastor of the First Baptist Church and taking responsibility for this mission. Our second phase, of course, is to clean up, paint, ready rooms with volunteer help. We have a school of volunteers, even last night, having more come in and volunteer to help do these things. We will be opening up the north wing, which is 6 doubles, which if we double the beds, it's going to be far more room than what we imagine. We'll be able to house 12 individuals on the north wing. My wife is a excellent cook, and we have all the bases covered of the necessary things to bring in people and house them. There will be a 90-day program that is just the entry time to find out if these people are going to be serious about helping themselves to get back in society. And then it will go to an 18 to 24-month program. The reason 24 months, because the schooling that Dr. Allen is offering there at the STAR program is a 2-year program. which involves heavy equipment, EMTs, paralegals, people in medical fields and stuff, and much more there. So what I'm challenging you with is if either one of two things, which I shared with you last time, is either to match our funding that comes in as a county, because this is a county problem. It is not just a city problem. It will be a county problem involving all cities. I will be going to all the city council meetings and presenting this as an issue. The reason we don't see the surface of it, because the majority of people that are homeless are families, and families do not want to be discovered that they're homeless. They are actually double up in homes. They are living in places that are vacated and vacant. They're living in our roadside parks, and with this new Kansas state law, that may be ended. So they're going to have a place to go. And that's what I'm offering to you. I don't know, Miss Barbara and I were talking just earlier before we came in here, are we going to be able to open this up to the overcrowding? And that's an interesting thing too. The overcrowding that's happening in major cities up to our north. I found out that there are counties in our state that give homeless people bus tickets so that they can make it to these communities because they have facilities and things that they can offer. I also found out through the meeting of the Kansas legislation this last Thursday that they are in dire need. Their encampments and all of these things are overrun. They are starting to make laws that will eliminate these campgrounds and eliminate these homeless camps. Gentlemen, I'm trying to get ahead of the game here, and I'm asking you to get on board if you would help us in this matter, if at all possible in any way. We are looking at a cost of $2,000 a month to operate as what we can figure with the utilities and all that will be involved there, about $1,500 and $500 a month for maintenance and supplies, and that is preparing the building to be used. From phase 2, you have phase 3 to each one of the wings to be opened up. We're talking about a possibility of 63 beds. If we double those beds or we put bunk beds in, you're looking at 106 beds. If we double those up, then there's still the possibility. Also, this shelter would be used as an emergency shelter for the winter months where homeless are on the street. They would have a place to come and find a warm bed and a meal for maybe an evening or two, depending on the weather outside. I think this is an astronomical opportunity for the Linn County, and I hope that you will come and be on board with us. Our last phase in all of this, there are 5 acres of ground there that is not being used up. We would like to maybe see later on where we might get HUD involved with the situation of creating tiny homes for permanent dwelling. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Booth. Okay. Public comment. A citizen desiring to speak on any item not on the agenda may do so at this time. Discussion is limited to 5 minutes, and the commission will not take action at this time. Items introduced under public comment may become agenda items for a later time or date. Is there any public comment?
Good morning, Emily Thies. 2 things. We wanted to revisit what we talked about last week as far as the 9th position not being filled on the planning and zoning, with it being in our district and Danny's not here. I talked to Darren. From what Danny told us, he was going to let Darren interview, give information on what the job was, and Danny hasn't gotten back with him this week as far as possible candidates. Our concern is we have this meeting tomorrow. They're going to review the information and then at some point in the future vote. And again, if we come down to a 4-4 vote without that position being filled, and I don't have any reason to think that it's going to be 4-4, but if it did come down to 4-4, according to Gary, it's basically a dead vote. And I don't know what happens at that point with everything that we've tried to accomplish over the last 5 months coming in here. Another thing that we're concerned about is we don't want to get the city into a lawsuit if a conditional use permit is put in now. And I know that you guys said that you talked to Trish, and then you talked to the solar companies and said there's possible regulations down the road that could be changed. So our view is that they're going to try to get something in quickly under the current regulations. That's going to open up a whole different thing as far as legally if things get changed. But our concern is if you receive this, the things are changed down the road, that they're going to come back and say, that's not what was originally done, and have a lawsuit. So again, and we're each week ask for a moratorium until planning and zoning have a chance to evaluate everything, see if it's worth making any changes, and send it back to you as commissioners. So we ask for a moratorium on conditional use permits, accepting them until planning and zoning has a chance to look at the regulations.
Okay.
So any thoughts on that today?
Nope.
Okay. Then another session, Prairie area has been brought up as an additional site, possibly for solar farms over in that area. That's coming from the solar companies. We know all the parties in our area that the land is involved in, who wants to do it and who doesn't want to do it. My question is this. If you are a commissioner in here or on planning and zoning and you own land and you vote for these solar panels, is it legal for them to do that and then put solar panels on their land?
I'm not going to give a legal opinion off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll, if commissioners want me to look into that and provide a legal opinion about that, I'll do that. But they'll have to tell me to do that, because that's.
Because it to me, if you're voting for it, and then you get to benefit from your vote in pushing the issue, I find concern with that.
I understand your question.
Yeah.
It's a valid question.
Okay. Well, we'll be here tomorrow night and we'll be here next Monday.
Sounds good. That we can see. I mean, that's a valid question. It needs to be answered.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have anything else?
Nope.
David?
I'm good.
Jim?
I mean,
I'll make a motion. We adjourn.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.